welcome to Pageantry Now. I'm so excited to be able to get back into doing interviews again. We've got a really, really special interview coming up for you in just a second. One of the contestants is going to be going to Miss Earth USA in just 6 weeks, which is crazy. So we're going to talk to her in just a minute. But before we do that, we are going to just tell you a little bit about Pageantry Now and why we do this. It's all about positivity and pageantry and being able to highlight the amazing things that title holders are doing using a crown and a sash. Typically, you see the crowning and you see when they give up their crown a year later, and there really isn't that in between that you really get to see people actively making a difference. So we're really about trying to highlight what these title holders are doing, trying to change the world, and that's super, super important because, you know, it's not all about toddlers and tiaras and reality TV. These are real people making real differences. With that being said, we will take all of your questions. So I see people that are here already. So if you've got questions, comments, leave them. I will try to get to them as we can. But we appreciate all of your love. Make sure you share this with all of your friends. If you haven't already, please follow us. Follow us here on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, subscribe to us on YouTube so that we can get more people and share more stories. With that being said, we're going to have our first guest, and here we go. Okay, all right, so do me a favor, in case no one heard anything that I just said, introduce yourself so we know who you are.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Miss Earth, Illinois here. I am a contestant who has come back. I've competed in the Earth system before 2 years ago. I'm so excited to be back because really it is everything that I'm passionate about, and it gave me a chance to go ahead and expand my platform further and work with children, which is what I've been wanting to do. And I'm so excited in 6 weeks. It's a little unpredictable right now with the whole COVID environment to really know what will happen. But I really hope that this time around, it will all work out and we'll have a new Miss Earth USA.
Well, we're gonna have a new Miss Earth USA, and hopefully it's you. So that's like the hope is that you will walk away with a crown. So, so tell me, Kristina, like where you're from? Chicago, I assume. No, okay.
Correct. I live in Chicago. Yes.
I was hearing your accent, and I'm like, okay, she's probably Chicago because like I'm from Detroit originally, so like I wasn't picking up Midwest. So there you go. My friend Ivory says hello and says hi, so welcome to the show.
Hi, Ivory.
All right, so clearly this is something that was something you were passionate about. What made you come back and want to have the Illinois Earth title again?
Well, I've been working on my platform throughout, even after my pageantry. It's just, I didn't publicize it. I didn't really talk about it. I just kind of did it in my own time. So, approaching the age of 28, I figured, hey, I don't have much time left to compete. This would be the opportunity to really show everyone what I've been working on and expand my platform while I can, and before I even age out of pageantry. So I'm really excited.
You don't age out of pageantry. So just I mean, even with Earth, you could go on to the Ms. Elite title. You can go
Correct.
if you get married, you can go on to Mrs. Like there's so many different options. And I remember back when I was competing Miss, the aging out was 24. And I was like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? 24, like this is it. This is the end of pageantry. And I ended up competing in Mrs. pageants, and I just like it kind of once you get the bug, you generally don't lose it. So yeah.
You think you will retire and then it will come back and you're like, no, I want to compete again.
I have retired so many times, it's not even funny. And something changes in my life and it makes me, feel like I've got to be able to do this. So so tell me a little bit about your platform and what your platform is so we can talk a little bit more about that as well.
Sure. So in 2018, my platform was about water and conserving water. And until this day, I have kind of expanded on that because I didn't want to start completely new. I wanted to build on what I already have and all the connections I've established. And however, now I'm focusing more on delivering clean and sustainable water supply to underprivileged communities and specifically working with children. Rather than just, conserving water. Well, what about it? So I kind of went into a more specific direction with that. Currently, I have actually a meeting with Search for Water organization. They have an office here in Chicago and one as well as in Dubai that are currently taking, volunteers. So I have a meeting with them next week. I'm really excited to get the ball rolling on that. I also work with UNICEF. They have a whole specialty, work department where you specifically work with children. So, a lot of virtual activities going on, not much hands-on. There are a few hands-on opportunities, but not as many as I'd like to get. So most of my work is definitely virtual.
Well, and I think that's what everybody's going through right now. Like, there's nothing that
Mhm.
with the COVID limitations, it's really changed pageantry in a huge way. Which actually brings me to Miss Earth this year and everything being virtual. So I know there's a lot of anxiety with Miss Earth USA just being 6 weeks away.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Lindsay, by the way. Yay, Lindsay! Whoop whoop! Earth USA is now
So
USO. Miss Earth,
excited.
sorry. So, what would you think if they decided to do Earth USA as a virtual pageant?
So it was virtual in 2020. This will be for 2021. And at that time, I had a lot of kind of personal things going on with my education. I started grad school. That was approaching. I was taking my LSAT exams. And behind the whole virtual, filming and producing is a lot of work
A
and
lot
a
of
lot of
work.
connections that I don't have here in Chicago. I didn't even know anyone with filming. Now I do, though. I did do a project, the Miss Earth introduction video. So I was able to establish connections for filming. But during that time, it was about a week or 2 weeks away. And I'm like, I can't pull this off. So I decided to wait and recompete, when I'm ready and in person and kind of see what happens. I think it's great. I think that, just like anything else, it's evolution, and pageantry will maybe even be all virtual for all we know in the future. Could be. I think I like the in-person experience personally. I love just being in front of people and just really feeling the crowd when you're out there. You're in your bathing suit or you're in your gown, and just that feeling and the energy in the room, it's the most important for me. So I decided to wait it out until January of 2021.
Yeah. People think that this whole virtual thing is new, and I started competing in virtual pageants in the 90s, which is
Wow.
crazy. Yeah, virtual pageantry has been around since the 90s. So this is really the first time that it's become mainstream or like big time where you see these bigger pageants. And I think that the one good thing is that it really brings everybody together without having to pay for travel and wardrobe. And I mean, you still have wardrobe, but it's
That
not
is true.
the same, you know?
It's about the experience. And one of my favorite things about competing is making new friends and meeting the girls and just having those experiences. And I mean, for me, that was one of the most valuable things I took away competing in 2018. So I wanted to really just relive that.
Well, I think it's really, I mean, I think now that we have, Instagram, Facebook, and everything is live, that it enables some of the delegates to get together in a way that maybe you weren't able to do before. Like, there are definitely connections I see in this last year, just since March, you really see more and more people going live, sharing their experiences, and I think that in a lot of ways really opens up a lot more opportunities for you to be able to share your story with your fellow contestants, but also with other people. So, how have you been able to use your title in a way virtually that maybe you wouldn't have had before?
I think that just, related to my platform, just being able to really connect to people that are not necessarily close to you in proximity in terms of like location wise, but even across the world, is a huge connection that you can't really get so easily unless, you buy a ticket and you fly out
Right, exactly.
to a
Well, you
different
said
continent.
you're working with an organization in Dubai. Would you have really been able to have done that without virtual
Yeah,
proximity? I mean,
exactly.
so
Absolutely. So it opens the door for new opportunities. I haven't had much contact with their office yet. I am mainly working with the Chicago office, but I am definitely there. There will be opportunities to connect.
that's so cool. So cool. All right, let me see if I can get this to work. There we go. Okay.
There we go.
New technology. Yeah. So,
I completely understand.
it's like it's all new, like, and everything. That's the thing is like even how I do interviews has changed so much over the years. Um, it used to be that we didn't do Facebook Live and we had to do other ways to be able to do lives. And now that it's all like so easy, like in the palm of your hand, I think it really
Yep.
changes how we're able to communicate so quickly, which it can be good and bad. So, so with the water being your focus and clean water and availability, what inspired you to have that as your platform?
Honestly, it kind of goes all back when I was in Switzerland. I did a study abroad program in Geneva, Switzerland, and I worked with UNAP over there, as well as the International Red Cross and a whole other organizations that we were introduced to. I did multilateral diplomacy programs, so a lot of it was, being introduced to international programs. So once I kind of got my hands dirty and I learned a lot about these organizations, I learned that water and water sustainability is a huge environmental issue that that doesn't have enough people focusing really on the hands-on portion of it. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm letting
Oh,
people
okay.
see you because
Okay.
you're the focus. There you go, girl.
So yeah, it kind of goes back to my study abroad, and since then in 2018, I did the conserving water, and now I'm working more with children. And really, the focus of my platform is just really educating children on how to conserve water without even having to think about it. Just developing habits. And the earlier you start with them, the more they learn it. Like I always like to use this as an example, like turning off the faucet while brushing your teeth. Like it saves tremendous amount of water. And most people don't do it. They leave the water sink on, which I never understood why. But just
Why
little
do you
things
need the
like
water
that that
when it's,
really
yeah,
add up.
exactly. Yeah. I was gonna
I'm
say
sorry?
just I was gonna say, why do you need the water on when you're brushing your teeth? Like you don't.
You
So
don't. Exactly. Exactly. And when I was in Switzerland, it was funny because I had a host mom, and I used to take very long showers before then. Americans, we love to take long showers. It's our thing, and just stand under the water. And over there though, they're very aware of how much water is being used. They're very environmentally focused in Switzerland.
right.
And she came up to me and she's like, Kristina, what you do in the shower for 30 minutes? Do you really need to take that long shower? She mentioned that actually in Switzerland water is very expensive
Right.
too. So and that's a way to keep everybody balanced and make sure that you're only using what you really need.
Right. And it seems to me like I interviewed Miss Denmark, who is now Miss Fire, Earth, and Miss Earthfire, sorry. And she was talking about just in Europe, there's so much more environmentally and ecologically friendly, and everything that they do is just
Absolutely.
so much smarter than. And they come here to the United States, and it's like they are shocked at how much waste that we have on a regular basis,
Absolutely.
which we don't think about it. Like we're not brought to understand the importance and the impact that we as a nation have on what's going on. And it was one of the things when COVID started was, the planet started to see changes to it because no one was at work for 2 months. And the factories were
Hmm.
closed and things were changing and the planet started to be able to heal itself. Wouldn't it be nice if we could actually see some of the damage that we've done over the last 100 years be reversed in the midst of all this? And the planet sometimes takes care of itself. So,
Absolutely. I actually read an article recently that talked exactly about that and the ozone hole being able to like heal
right.
itself during that time. However, now that manufacturing companies have been shut down for so long, they're trying to kind of play catch up. So now they're polluting the air even more. So they're
Yeah, I
so,
know.
it's a push and pull game consistently. And, it's important that we have young women like myself really being involved in this to be able to bring awareness to it, because a lot of people, they don't even read the news, they don't know about this unless
Right.
you sit down and talk about it. Especially in the United States, it's not a thing. I feel like you mentioned in Europe, people are a little bit more environmentally more aware of these things. So it is my job and the rest of the delegates to bring awareness to all this and educate as much as we can. And it starts, with simple things and one step at a time.
Does your platform coincide with your work and what you do in your work, or are they two totally different animals?
No, I'm a brand ambassador and a model. I worked actually as a paralegal before this in a nonprofit organization. It wasn't environmentally focused. It was more law based and arbitration based. So I do not. I've been completely focusing on Miss Earth and my graduate school. Now I'm doing diplomacy. However, in diplomacy, I am thinking about doing an environmental aspect of it. So potentially in the future, yes, it is definitely something I want to go into.
Well, and you mentioned going to Europe, and then you had an internship, and I was like, okay, well, maybe there is, because I have found like half and half of the women that are competing at Earth either feel that this is what they're going to be doing, or
Mhm.
that this is kind of what they're doing, and on top of what their chosen um,
Absolutely.
background is, so what they do, for money, for real.
Yep. No, absolutely. I feel like a lot of the contestants I also meet at Miss Earth are not competing just to compete and have a crown. They're actually very passionate about what they do, and there's something happened in their life that really brought them to this organization. And for me, it was traveling to Geneva and meeting all these organizations and really knowing what it was all about. That's what opened up my eyes. So, but everybody has a different story.
No, and I think that I feel that Earth is much harder to compete than some of the other pageants because it is so much platform based.
Mhm.
So areas of competition, in case anybody is interested, are what are the areas of competition?
Areas. So you definitely have scoring even prior to the pageant. So of course you have your swimwear, you have your gown, and you have your runway scores, which is all on stage. However, even before you start that, you're scored on, are you involved in your advocacy? They look at your social media. Are you doing things for the environment or are you not? Even we have currently, they added an introduction video, so there's a little bit of filming now that I feel like everybody's struggling with the technology side. So we're adapting. I They also have like Think Global Act Local project, which is a huge portion of your score. So it's definitely different than other pageant system. And the only other pageant I've actually done was Miss America once at a local level before I got involved in the Earth system. So I wouldn't even know how other pageants are scored. I just know for us that it's definitely not only how you perform on stage, but it's
What you do
heavily related to your platform. Yeah,
and your advocacy, which is super, super important. I mean, that's really what can win you the crown is not what's on stage, is what you're doing behind the scenes, which
exactly.
I think
I
is
feel like
super important.
absolutely. I feel like to get a crown, you must earn it. It can't be just by I mean, it's great that you look great, and it's important that we're healthy and But I feel like it's so much more than that, and it's really what you do throughout the year that will really set you apart from the rest of the delegates.
Awesome, awesome. So, what inspired you to get involved in pageantry? Because I say it all the time, this is a crazy sport. This is not something that's for the weak of heart. So,
Absolutely. And to be quite honest, I wouldn't really consider myself competitive. In fact, I don't really look at the other girls until really we're at the national pageant. I think what really brought me here was I'm very much a perfectionist by heart. It's a good and bad, and I feel like it brings the best of me. So, because you're not only doing stuff for the environment, but you're also, working on your body. You're working out. You are exercising your brain. You're doing different things and I feel like a combination of all of those and my inner spirit really makes the best of me. and brings it out. And I feel like competing is just what has really made me feel so close to my definition of perfection, and really just being the best self that you could possibly be. And without, having a pageant to compete, I wouldn't work out every day if I didn't have a pageant to compete for. I maybe, you wouldn't do a lot of things if you didn't have it. So it's like the one thing that keeps me going every day. And I just really find a lot of beauty in that.
That is fantastic. So, and then honestly, that to me, that's what is more about beauty. I don't believe that pageantry is about physical beauty. I think it's about beauty in the heart and that passion. And I think that it becomes very underestimated because we here in the United States see it a specific way as just being facial beauty and physical beauty. When at the end of the day, it's all about what you're doing with that crown to be able to open doors and change people's lives. So I think it's super important. All right.
Absolutely.
So we're going to do a question that I ask everybody. I know it's kind of a silly question, but it's what I ask everybody, so don't laugh too hard. I mean, you can laugh if you want to. Do you like frogs? Why or why not?
um, Gee, I never really thought about that. I don't mind them, but I don't love them either. I mean, look, like anything else, we need animals. They're, good for the environment, and I like them more than I don't like them. Let's just say that.
What I know this is really personal, but what is your ethnic background? Because it sounds like you're
I,
Hispanic. So
I'm not. No, I'm actually European. I was born
really,
Bulgarian. Yes, I was born Bulgarian, and I immigrated to the United States when I was 8 or 9, around that age. So I've lived most of my life here. However, you could still pick up on a little bit speck of accent here and there.
well, that's why I'm trying to pin it, and I'm like, okay, I live in Miami, so like for me, everybody's Hispanic. Although every accent I hear is like, what part of South America is that from? Anyways, but that was I was like, maybe she's European, so that's why I was asking. I was like, I'm not
European,
sure.
yes.
All right, so we're gonna do some. So that was the question I always ask. And I
I
know
hope
this is
I
silly.
answered it.
You get well. The reason that I ask it too, I probably should have asked at the beginning, is the very first time I asked it was for Pia Warsbach on the red carpet Miss Universe 2015, and I got such a realistic answer to it that from that moment on, I wanted to keep asking it because she went, no, I don't like that. No, no, and I was, but like the way you laughed
That's a
immediately,
really
like
good reaction.
yeah, exactly, but it made her totally relax. And she stopped being in pageant mode and she started being Pia, which is what I want. I want people to be relaxed and have fun and like this is cool and let's do this again. So, anyways, we should have done that at the beginning. I apologize.
That's okay. I mean, honestly, I never thought of it. Do I like frogs? I mean, I don't hate them and I don't love them. Somewhere in between.
I mean, people like finally, I get frog gifts now. And people said, "Do you like frogs?" And I said, "I really, when I was a kid, like I loved them as tadpoles. Like that was because I grew up in Michigan, so I grew out like out in the farm, and so I loved watching them develop. So I loved watching how something changed, transformed into something else. So,
Absolutely.
so
I
I think
actually
they're
used to
cool.
catch frogs too when I was a little girl. So there's that. We
There
have
you go.
something in
So
common.
there you go. All right, we're gonna do something fun. You ready? We're going to do a this or that. So I'm going to ask you a question and you tell me which one you like. All right?
Okay.
Easy enough. It's either this or that.
Easy enough.
All right. So makeup or no makeup?
Makeup.
Really?
I love makeup. I don't wear it every day. I would wear it once a week maybe, but I love makeup.
Okay. Well, there you go. All right. I have friends that I can hook you up with. So there you go. Do you like to be casual or do you like to be dressed up?
Ooh, dressed up all the way.
Really? Because see,
Yes.
okay, I am so not a pageant girl because like every pageant girl I answer, but you'd be surprised. Like I have done interviews where they're like, no, no, I'm all about the sweats and t-shirts and stuff. But Like this for me is like work. I don't know how you guys do it. I mean,
I love it. Well, that's why you're in pageantry. You gotta love dressing up and wearing makeup, and I love playing with my look too. I love to deliver just a different kind of feel every time. You know, sometimes I'll have my hair pulled back, or I'll do like a bun, or just looking different. I love experimenting with makeup and clothes. So there it is.
so I have to get with you afterwards because during the pandemic, my hair has historically been short. Like it's always been really, really short, and I haven't been able to get a
Okay.
haircut. So now it's long. I'm like, I don't know what to do with it. I'm like, whatever.
Long hair is great.
I need to learn how to play with it. There we go. All right. So, do you like flats or heels? I think I know the answer to that.
You
Do you like little heels or like 6-inch heels?
I used to love the 6 inch. Now I think that I'm getting a little older. I'm kind of calming down a little bit, and I just like you know, the a little more casual but cute, a little heel.
So not so much the tippy tops anymore. Now you're going for something a little bit more
I am,
regulated.
yeah, I'm definitely transitioning my taste in heels.
Isn't it crazy how as you get a little bit older, like that
Yeah,
whole thing changes? It's nuts.
absolutely. Like I used to love everything bedazzled. Everything had to be sparkles. I mean, even including my apartment from the age 21 to 25, everything was sparkles.
Really?
And yeah, and just recently that changed. Now I like a little more simplicity, more elegant things, a little more cleaned out. I don't know. I just feel like your taste changes, at times. So
I laughed because we just redid our house and everything is more like it would have been if we were in like a frat house. Like all of our stuff is but it's simple lines. Like my apartment before was very feminine, and my husband was like, "Oh my gosh, this is awful. Why are there butterflies on the walls? Could you
I
please get
know
rid
I
of
love
this stuff?"
butterflies.
So when we moved to this new house, everything went to clean lines. Very, I mean, it's not masculine, but it was like, wow, this is
Neutral.
different. Yeah, exactly. And it's all browns and blues. So browns, blues, grays, greens. So, anyways, all right. So chocolate or vanilla?
Ooh, chocolate.
Are you like an ice cream or a cake kind of girl?
To be honest, I don't really like sweets that much. Like I'll crave them once in a while, but if I could pick one, probably the cake.
Well, and also in Europe, like sweets are very, very different. Like here in the United States, like chocolate is very, very sweet, whereas in Europe, chocolate is a
Yeah,
much,
it's a
it's got
little
a
more
different
mellow.
texture to it. Exactly.
Absolutely, yes.
So, so I totally understand that, and also to the amount of sugar that we put into our products here is much more significant to what they do all over the world. So yeah, because it's
Absolutely.
the United States. All right. So pizza or salad or neither?
Ooh, pizza. Of course, pizza.
What's gonna be your like? You win the title of Miss Earth USA. What's the first thing you're gonna eat?
Probably pizza.
You'll probably be eating pizza during the pageant too. Just because it's
Oh no, I take it very seriously.
oh, you've
I'm
got
very
Chicago
non-motivated.
pizza. So are you a Chicago pizza kind of girl, like deep dish, or do you do like New York style?
I honestly, the deep dish is a little too flavorful for me. It's got a lot of tomato sauce in there. It's delicious, but I could only like eat half, maybe half a slice. I like the thinner crust pizzas, and just keep it a little more simple. And I just like them a little crunchy. It's just I don't know. I used to love deep dish. I feel like my taste again changed
It
over
changes.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it changes.
for sure.
When I was younger, I was all deep dish, and it was super hard to find here in Florida because in Michigan we could get deep dish, but we couldn't get it down here in Florida, in Miami. And so then I adjusted to New York, but every now and then I'll look at my husband and go, I need a Chicago pizza. And there's only
Oh,
one place
that's
in
so good.
Miami that makes them. Yeah, they're so good. So,
Yeah.
all right. All right. So we're going to go wrap up the time. It went so fast. How did it go so fast? Can you believe
I
it's been 30
know
minutes?
we're having so much fun.
I know. See, but I told you it's a conversation, right? So, what would you like to say to everybody before we finish? Besides, follow you, support you, and be there with you while you go for this title.
I'd like to tell everybody, we live in such an unusual times right now that things are really, and I feel like the world is a little upside down. Really focus on doing what you love, follow your heart, and don't take life too seriously. Just have fun and just follow your heart and do what you see yourself doing in the long term. A lot of us get caught up in moments that we get upset, you lose a job or something happens, somebody gets sick. Just live life to the fullest you can every day. Make the most of your day. Be efficient and just have faith in yourself.
Good words to live by. Oh my gosh, you are so grounded. Like I can tell definitely that you're closer to 28 than you are to 21. So that's fantastic. You've got a really great way of speaking, and I love that. So thank you for the great words. Thank you for sharing your time with us. If anybody wants
Thank
to
you for
follow
having
your,
me on.
my pleasure. I'm so sorry it took a while to get you on. So
It's been
thanks for
forever.
being.
I've always wanted to do an interview with you guys.
Are you serious? Oh my gosh,
Yes.
come back afterwards. Like after pageant. Now that I've got the studio set up and I can do things before when we were trying to get you in before, uh, we were doing gymnastics using all of my computer program stuff in my living room because we have a gymnastics
Oh wow,
company. So it's
fun.
really hard to do interviews when we were in a different setup. So anyway, so I thanks so much for being on. If they want to be able to find you, how does anybody find you to follow your year?
I mean, you could follow at Miss Illinois Earth, my Instagram account, or my personal account is Kristina with a K dot Dechev, as in Dechev. And you will see on there also my Miss Earth account is linked as well if you'd like to follow that. And just I'm very open, so people will anyone can reach out to me and say, hey, I'm looking to get into pageantry. And a lot of times I'll get busy and I won't be able to respond right away, but I'm open to really giving advice to anyone who wants to pursue this and make something of it, or just try it for fun or whatever, personal development. So follow me on my journey, and yeah, and I'll be
Awesome.
there for you.
Thanks. Thanks so much for being on.
Yeah.
Hold tight. Don't hang up. I'm going to just finish up the show. So thanks so much for
Okay.
being with us, and I will be right back. And hey, everybody, thanks for being here at Pageantry Now. It was wonderful having Kristina on as a guest and hearing about her journey with the Miss Earth USA system. Follow her reign at Miss Illinois Earth on Instagram so that you can hear all about what she's doing. 6 weeks until Miss Earth USA, so you can follow her journey there and cheer her on and help support her. And again, thanks everybody for being here. We're so supportive of all of you and so grateful to have all of you as our crownies. We will see you next time on Pageantry Now. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a good day.